bone-chilling story of Baggy Pants and the children of Riverside. In the quiet residential area of Consett, called Riverside, nestled amidst thick woods that towered over the houses, there stood an old church on Church Bank. Its ancient walls and moss-covered roof seemed to whisper secrets from another era. This was where the tale of Baggy Pants unfolded, a sinister figure whose evil deeds would forever haunt the memories of the town's inhabitants. Baggy Pants was known for his distinctive attire. He had a distinct walk, characterized by a slightly waddling motion. As he walked, his baggy trousers would sway from side to side, giving the impression of exaggerated movement. This distinctive walk added to his reputation and reinforced the association with baggy pants. He always wore a rag over his nose and mouth, obscuring his face, and atop his head rested a tattered hat. No one knew where he came from or what his true name was, for he was a man shrouded in mystery. His age was estimated to be in his 60s, and his heart harbored an intense hatred for any form of innocence. It was the year 1863 when Baggy Pants first made his presence known in Church Bank. The townsfolk whispered tales of his wickedness and dark intentions. He preyed upon the innocence of children, abducting them without remorse. The unsuspecting victims were never seen again, leaving families in anguish and the entire town living in fear. Baggy Pants had transformed the old church into his base of operations. Beneath its hallowed grounds lay a hidden underground chamber where he kept his captives. The entrance to this chamber was concealed beneath a heavy stone slab, cleverly hidden from prying eyes. Inside the church, a sinister ambience prevailed. The air was thick with an eerie stillness, and the faint scent of decay permeated the space. Dim candlelight cast flickering shadows upon the ancient walls, revealing disturbing religious artifacts and faded murals. The pews were worn and creaked under the weight of time, as if mourning the innocence that was lost within those walls. The underground chamber was a labyrinth of cells, each holding a frightened child or adult. The victims were malnourished and worn, their eyes filled with despair. The ceiling dripped with dampness, and the stale air was tainted with despair. Rusty chains hung from the walls, remnants of the horrors inflicted upon those unfortunate souls who dared defy Baggy Pants. Every time Baggy Pants captured a victim, he would ring the church bell, signaling his triumph to the terrified town. A single toll for a boy, and a haunting double toll for a girl. The sound reverberated through the thick woods, sending shivers down the spines of those who heard it. Baggy Pants had a sinister purpose for his abductions. The children he captured were forced into labor, working under his watchful eye to craft the handles of swords. The town's swordmakers were unknowingly complicit in his vile deeds, for they believed the handles were crafted by skilled artisans. If the captives failed to meet Baggy Pants' expectations, he would deny them food and lock them away in a dark dungeon. The souls of those who had perished in that forsaken place lingered, their tortured whispers filling the air. One fateful night, a young girl named Emily, who had been taken by Baggy Pants, found herself face to face with her captor. Her eyes filled with tears as he sneered at her, his masked face twisted in sadistic pleasure. "You will work tirelessly to craft these sword handles," Baggy Pants hissed, his voice laden with malice. "Fail me, and you will know true suffering. Your cries will join the chorus of the damned in the depths of the dungeon." Fear gripped Emily's heart as she glanced around at the other children, their faces etched with exhaustion and despair. Baggy Pants had stolen their innocence, their dreams, and replaced them with a living nightmare. While the children endured unimaginable horrors beneath the church, their families were consumed by worry and concern. The town came together, searching for their missing loved ones, their hearts heavy with grief. Prayers were whispered in the hope of their safe return, but the woods remained silent, concealing the secret of Baggy Pants and his captives. As time passed, hope began to wane, and the town sank deeper into despair. But fate had a glimmer of light in store. In the darkest depths of the dungeon, a voice emerged from the shadows, a voice that had witnessed the wickedness for far too long. "Emily," the voice whispered, "I know a way out. Follow my instructions and you will escape this wretched place." Emily's eyes widened with a mix of fear and hope. "Who are you?" "Listen carefully. When the night is at its darkest, make your way to the chamber's entrance. There, you will find a small crack in the stone. Squeeze through it and run to the town. Do not trust anyone, except for a kind stranger who will be waiting near the wood's edge. The nights grew darker, and Emily waited for the perfect moment to enact her escape. When the time came, she cautiously made her way through the underground chamber, her heart pounding in her chest. She reached the chamber's entrance and found the small crack Samuel had spoken of. With trembling limbs, she squeezed through and emerged into the cold night air. Running as fast as her weakened legs would allow, Emily reached the town and found herself face to face with a stranger. She poured out her story, sharing the horrors she had endured, her voice trembling with every word. The stranger listened intently, a grave expression etched upon his face. But as Emily finished recounting her ordeal, the stranger's features contorted into a sinister smile. It was Baggy Pants' brother. "You poor child," he sneered. "You think you have escaped, but you have only found your way back home." Emily's hope shattered, and terror engulfed her once again. Baggy Pants' brother picked her up and carried her back towards the church, disappearing into the shadows of the woods. She was never seen again. The kidnappings eventually ceased in Riverside, coinciding with the decline of the sword-making industry in Consett. The handles were no longer needed, and Baggy Pants' reign of terror came to an end. The town's residents breathed a collective sigh of relief, though the scars remained etched upon their souls. To this day, the church on Church Bank stands, its thick woods casting an eerie presence over Riverside. At night, the cries and screams of Baggy Pants' victims echo through the air, a chilling reminder of the horrors they endured. The church bell, although untouched by mortal hands, sometimes rings without reason, its tolls resounding when there is nobody inside the church. The cells and dungeons beneath the church have never been found, their secrets buried deep within the earth. The children who fell victim to Baggy Pants, along with Baggy Pants himself and his malevolent brother, remain shrouded in darkness, their fate unknown. And so the tale of Baggy Pants and the children of Riverside lives on, whispered among the townsfolk, a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. And as the years passed, the town of Riverside carried the weight of its dark history. Parents held their children close, warning them of the dangers that lurked within the thick woods, and cautioning them never to venture near the old church on Church Bank. Yet despite the warnings, some curious souls dared to investigate the remnants of Baggy Pants' reign of terror. They braved the treacherous paths that wound through the woods, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity. The church itself stood as a haunting testament to the atrocities committed within its walls. Its time-worn facade bore the scars of time, its stone exterior worn by the elements. Inside, the air hung heavy with a chilling presence, as if the very essence of evil clung to every corner. Explorers who dared to venture further discovered the hidden entrance to the underground chamber. They descended the rickety stairs, their footsteps echoing in the oppressive silence. As they entered the labyrinth of cells, they felt an invisible weight settle upon their shoulders, a burden of despair that seeped into their bones. The cells, with their decaying walls and rusted chains, whispered tales of torment and suffering. The dank atmosphere gnawed at their senses, and the cries of long-lost souls seemed to linger in the air. Each cell told a story, etching the horrors of Baggy Pants' reign upon the explorers' minds. In the deepest, darkest corner of the dungeon, a flickering candle cast eerie shadows upon the walls. There, a voice emerged, barely audible yet laden with anguish. "Who ventures into this forsaken place?" the voice whispered. The explorers, frozen with fear, exchanged glances. It was a child, an innocent soul trapped in the depths of despair. "We are here seeking answers, seeking the truth of Baggy Pants and the children he stole." One of the explorers mustered the courage to respond. The child's voice trembled as he recounted his own tale of abduction and imprisonment. His name was Jonathan, a boy taken at the tender age of 10. He had witnessed the horrors of Baggy Pants and knew all too well the fate that awaited those who defied him. "But there is a way out," Jonathan whispered, his voice tinged with a glimmer of hope. "I have seen a path, a hidden tunnel that leads beyond these cursed grounds. Follow me and I will show you." Guided by Jonathan's unwavering determination, the explorers followed him through the labyrinthine passages of the underground chamber. With each step, their hearts beat faster, for they sensed that their search was nearing its climax. Finally, they reached a forgotten corner, where a loose stone revealed a hidden tunnel. The explorers squeezed through the narrow passage, their anticipation growing with each stride. The darkness enveloped them, but they pressed on, guided by Jonathan's whispered directions. Emerging from the tunnel, they found themselves standing in the moonlit streets of Riverside. Relief washed over them, mingled with a sense of accomplishment. They had unearthed a hidden truth, a truth that would bring closure to the grieving families and shed light on the dark legacy of Baggy Pants. Their first instinct was to seek justice, to expose the secrets that had plagued their town for generations. They ran through the streets, shouting their findings, desperate to share the tale of Baggy Pants and the captive children with anyone who would listen. But as fate would have it, their cries fell on deaf ears. The townsfolk turned a blind eye, dismissing their words as mere tales spun from overactive imaginations. The dark secrets of Riverside were too painful to face, and denial became their shield. In the midst of their frustration, the explorers noticed a figure standing in the shadows. It was a man, older and weathered, wearing a familiar flat-cap hat. It was Baggy Pants' brother, the very personification of the darkness that had plagued Riverside for so long. With a malevolent smile, he approached the group. "You seek the truth, do you not?" he hissed, his voice dripping with contempt. "But the truth is a burden that Riverside cannot bear. Let the secrets remain buried, for they are the price paid for its peace." Fear and confusion gripped the explorers, their hopes dashed in an instant. They had hoped for justice, closure, and an end to the nightmares that had haunted their town. Instead, they were met with the harsh reality that some secrets are better left buried. As Baggy Pants' brother vanished into the night, the explorers stood there, grappling with the weight of their discoveries. The kidnappings had ceased, but the scars of the past remained, etched upon the very soul of Riverside. And so, the tale of Baggy Pants and the children of Riverside faded into obscurity. The church on Church Bank continued to stand as a chilling reminder of the horrors it had witnessed, its thick woods guarding its secrets. The cries and screams of Baggy Pants' victims could still be heard at night, carried on the whispers of the wind. The church bells, though untouched by mortal hands, occasionally rang out, their tolls resounding through the silent streets. The townsfolk averted their gazes, for they knew that sometimes the past demands to be remembered, even when there is nobody inside the church. To this day, the cells and dungeons beneath the church remain concealed, hidden from the prying eyes of those who dare to seek the truth. The children who fell victim to Baggy Pants, as well as Baggy Pants himself and his malevolent brother, vanished without a trace, swallowed by the darkness they had sown. And so, Riverside carries its secrets, haunted by the echoes of its past. The townsfolk, though they try to move on, can never forget the chilling tale of Baggy Pants and the children of Riverside. For in the silence of the night, when the wind howls through the thick woods, the spirits of the lost ones whisper their stories, ensuring that the horrors they endured are never truly forgotten. These days, the hollowed grounds of Church Bank look nothing like they did back then, with the church rebuilt and a vicar that keeps watch over the grounds. The bells ring for different reasons now, and all for the good, but every now and then, you may see a glimpse of the past, or hear a bell that rings out of tone reminding you of the sinister story of Baggy Pants. Thank you for listening to this short story. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel, so you never miss one of my spooky, spine-chilling stories of times past and present in and around the town of Consett, County Durham.